or you are fucking crazy or you are stupid.
My first meeting was in Ibiza.
And you could hear the noise of the shoes.
Unless you have that guy sitting on your seat, you're not going to do it.
Yamaha? Really? Now?
Over the top they go. Rossi goes through. Rossi has the advantage. And Rossi's world champion from 1997.
It's Rossi on the Yamaha. He is the world champion. He is the winner.
Valentino Rossi wins the African Grand Prix. Valentino Rossi wins the race. Valentino Rossi has done it again. He's won the Japanese Grand Prix here at Suzuka. Back on top, leading the World Championship. Perez salutes Valentino Rossi as he stands on the saddle.
Rossi wins. Celebrations for Honda.
Champagne flows for the 53rd time for Valentino Rossi.
That time in Valentino's career, obviously, he was very, very dominant. It was clear that he was Honda's big star. They had no intention of him going anywhere. They saw him being world champion probably for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years, maybe even more.
Honda, I think, were getting very, very complacent. They'd won a lot with myself throughout the 90s and then straight into Valentino. So they were thinking that it's just, you know, we're the shit, essentially. We don't need to do anything.
He was winning more or less everything. Everything. People began to say Valentino is winning like that because he has the best bike.
For everybody, on the bike is clearly the best, was clearly the best, and in reality it was true, was the best one. But also in Honda, they think that we win with Vale, but if Vale go, we win with Gibernau, we can win with Biaggi, we can win with a lot of other riders.
Honda were being a little bit arrogant and a little bit overconfident with what the product they have and not really respecting the job that Valentino was doing for them.
They don't treat me like the number one. They treat me, yes, you are a factory rider, but you have to say thank you to us if you win. But I was in the racetrack, and I think that was not for this, because I think that I was the faster.
Rossi takes the victory, takes the world title. Could that be a final goodbye to Honda from Valentino Rossi?
And so, from that moment, we start to think that we have to change.
We basically said, well, if you want to win, unless you have that guy sitting on your seat, you're not going to do it. At that time, Davide Brivio was working for us as team manager for the factory team. And with Davide's connection, Italian connection with Valentino, we started a negotiation process.
It went for more than a year. And my first meeting to talk about this was, it's quite famous, was in Ibiza in February 2003. And it was just a chat, a conversation. Yeah, we need a rider like you if we want to win. Why don't you come to us? But it was just the beginning of talking, let's say.
Ho detto, Vale, cioè, pensiamoci davvero, perché per me questa qui secondo me è un'opportunità, no? È importante, lo so che è difficile, però pensiamo.
When things become more seriously, we had a meeting every weekend in the paddock. But the problem was where to meet, to not make anybody understanding, so we found many strange places where to meet, in Clinica Mobile or inside one hotel room.
Carlos Checa out of the race. It looks like a mechanical problem.
there's a faller there in the background. That looks like Alex Barros, I think. The Brazilian has gone down. Oh, and there goes Marco Melandri, who was in second place overall, has been spat off his Yamaha. Checker out of the race for the second week in succession.
We show to him that he would have been very important for us. So we say to him, if you don't come, we cannot win. So if you come, we can win.
Davide non ha mai mollato, è sempre arrivato però molto onesto. Arrivava lì e diceva, io la Yamaha facciamo 12esimi adesso, la moto non è competitiva. Però con te, con Vale e con Furusawa, con uno staff nuovo, con un po' di soldi che arriveranno perché arrivi tu, una serie di cose, secondo me tu sei in grado di questa moto di renderla competitiva.
That year, 2003, Yamaha were truly shocking. They had a terrible year. And I think that was one of the reasons why people went, Yamaha? Really? Now?
We thought he's silly. Why changing when you have the perfection between your hands? Why? Why are you doing that?
In that moment, if you change Honda for Yamaha, you are fucking crazy or you are stupid. And maybe I was both, I think.
I remember giving him one DVD. There was a short movie, a short video that Yamaha made, where there were the riders that won the championship with Yamaha. And then I remember saying, hey, I mean, this is Agostini, Roberts, Lawson, Rainey. You can be the fifth of this group.
I say yes. We go with Yamaha.
Vi ricordo la Honda Motegi che si è venuta a prendere in aeroporto nel 2003, dandoci un contratto nelle mani. È entrato e ci hanno messo il contratto sul frigo dell'ufficio e ha detto guarda domenica lo devo prendere ed è firmato, se non è firmato tu sei fuori. Io prendo il contratto e Vale fa lascialo lì, mi ha detto, quello rimane sul frigo fino a domenica. Io lì ho detto cazzo, allora abbiamo deciso davvero, lì è stato proprio a Motegi la volta che ho sentito, abbiamo deciso, era entrato quello della Honda e Vale ha detto guarda il contratto è là sul frigo, lui l'ha preso, ma non è firmato, no.
I was also speaking with Honda, the heads of Honda at the time within the racing, saying that we needed to secure Jeremy Burgess, all the team members, because he's going to leave and he's going to take them with him.
And we had a discussion and he had already asked me to come with him on the next journey. In this meeting, anyway, I just said, well, if you think it will make any difference, I will come with you. And the smile, I still remember the smile on his face and the smile on Uccio's face, that it was like a giant relief.
But I remember the day when Jerry came back and Jerry said, that's it, boys, I'm gone. And we said, okay, we're with you.
Then the risk was for us, of course, because if you have Valentino Rossi sitting on the seat and you don't win, then you're in trouble.
They had to do something to improve. Because otherwise, if Valentino went to Yamaha and for the next 2 years was 8th, 9th, 10th, it was not going to be about Valentino Rossi. They knew what a great rider he was, how good he was at Honda. It was going to be all on Yamaha.
At a certain point, I remember we were saying, okay, if we sign a 2 years contract, what are we going to say, like, to the media? And then I say, okay, we can say that the first year, which was going to be the 2004, we need to develop the bike, we need to know each other, we need to create, and then we want to win 2005. And he said, yeah, that's fine, we can say that. But hey, he said, I want to win the first race. So I say, Vale, we will try, but it's not that easy, you know? Our bike maybe is not yet at that level. You say, but you think I'm coming from Honda to Yamaha and we don't win the first race?
Thank you, Valentino. I really don't know if we will allow you to test the new bike, but now with my friend Tachikawa, we would like to give you an RC211, but it's a special guest from in behalf of Honda and all the team members. So
Honda was so bitter and upset about him leaving, they banned him. There was kind of this gentleman's agreement, an unwritten rule that if a rider moved factories, they'd be released from their contract early to start testing and preparing. No way with Honda.
This was a problem for me, but was also great motivation because I understand that they are scared.
Quindi tutti erano a fare i test a novembre in Malesia e noi eravamo a casa. E a me mi diceva, cazzo, siamo a casa, quelli fanno... E Biaggi faceva i giri veloci. Arrivavano i messaggi, non c'era la internet tanto, erano i messaggi, Biaggi Paul, mi dice, hai visto Biaggi Paul? Io dicevo, vale, calma, noi lo sappiamo che non possiamo provare la moto fino al 31/12, stai tranquillo, la proviamo a gennaio. E lui voleva provare sta moto.
From the first moment that I jumped on the bike, I was in a magic ball, you know? And everything was easy.
Everybody had a big expectation. Everybody wanted to know his comment about the bike, his feedback.
The first time he went out, then when he came in, there was probably, I would say, 15, 20 engineers around him to listen. And everybody's scared because you can imagine, you know, 3-time world champion coming from Honda, testing Yamaha.
Lui arriva, mi guarda me col casco, io così, dimmi, si può fare? Mi ha detto, puttana, come si può fare?
After the first or second test, I understand that I can win the championship. But for sure, I don't expect to win the first race. And the good thing is that nobody expects.
The whole time leading up to that race, there was a lot of pressure because Max Biaggi had always said if he had a Honda, he could win. So there was this in the media, there was quite a lot of, this between the two.
I read all the tests on the newspaper, and Biaggi, Gibernau said, because they have my bike, no? And they say, now I understand why Rossi win. His bike is a lot better than us, blah, blah, blah. So, we will see.
We were in a position I felt that we could challenge. I didn't necessarily think that we could win, but having led every practice session and the warm-up, we hadn't actually put 30-plus laps together.
We're in South Africa for round 1 of the MotoGP World Championship.
A great start from Valentino Rossi, something we're not accustomed to him seeing, and he's taken the whole shot of the first corner. It's Rossi who leads the way from Gibernau.
Valentino Rossi has made the start he dreamed of.
First, it was a Yamaha versus Honda battle, which there's been many over the years, but also it was a Biaggi versus Rossi battle, which had a lot of, shall we say, additional tension added to it and a lot of challenge between the two of them, because whilst they've both been great Italian champions, they've never mixed well.
Here comes Biaggi on the brakes as he got up the inside of Rossi. He has. Max Biaggi takes the lead. Rossi relegated to second. It's going to be a battle to the flag between these two great Italians.
I reached the best level of my concentration and physical strength, also because I was at the top of my career, because I had 25 years old. So I was fucking strong. And also if the bike was worse than Honda at the beginning, I was able to win.
Rossi goes through. There was an inch. Rossi's done it, and there's nothing Biaggi can do about it. Can you believe it?
The bike was okay. It was not great. It was okay. But Valentino made all the difference at that time,
Rossi is going to write another chapter into the MotoGP history books.
L'ultima curva!
Attenzione qua! The checkered flag beckons the doctor. Valentino Rossi wins the Africa's Grand Prix from Yamaha and from Max Biaggi.
The victory in Welkom, South Africa, the first one in 2004, was a kind of best victory ever.
Rossi c'è! Ce l'ha fatta!
Rossi
Ce l'ha
c'è!
fatta!
Rossi c'è!
Ce l'ha
Rossi c'è
fatta!
su Biaggi! Straordinario!
The emotion on the engineers, I'll never forget how they all looked. I mean, from everyone, from the spare parts guy, everybody. Some of them were crying, some of them were just so excited.
That was unbelievable. That was a dream come true, you know, because nobody expected such a big result from a bike that the previous year just took one podium. He was happy to have beaten Honda with his skill.
You had like the two contrasting emotions. There was the wild celebrations at Yamaha. It was amazing to watch. And then, of course, the flip side of the coin was complete and utter frustration, dejection at Honda. Nakajima-san, who at the time was the boss of HRC, who was one of the guys that really had angered Valentino. He was one of the guys, I think, that pushed Valentino to the door at Honda. He kind of was just squatted down, smoking a cigarette. He knew the significance of that moment for himself. You know, there was going to be consequences, because if Honda didn't retaliate and beat Valentino that year, it was going to be on his shoulders. He was the boss of HRC. He was employed to win. Honda don't lose.
The quiet before the storm. The biggest party Welkom has ever seen will start.
We organized the flight for the evening after the race, and is one of the bigger mistakes of my career. I also now, when I think, I say, fuck.
It wasn't an outrageous party with thousands of people. It was just more the team, but the engineers were just incredibly happy. I mean, they were falling in the swimming pool, jumping in the swimming pool.
And I remember the next day, they were at the airport in Johannesburg. They were walking with some of the engineers, and their shoes were still wet, and you could hear the noise of their shoes. Oh man, it was pretty fun.
Of all of his victories, of all of his races, nothing for me personally will top what happened in Welkom in 2004, because it was like a fairy tale. It really was. Nobody could really have scripted it any better. I mean, it was like if you'd have gone to a Hollywood director and pitched that, they'd have probably just laughed you out of the studio. You know, get out, don't be so ridiculous.
When he won that first race in Welkom, that gave everybody an enormous boost in confidence and an enormous level up in ambition. So then, if we can win in Welkom, why can't we win in the next race, or the next race, or the next race? So, and it was only really later in the season that it became a reality that indeed we might even be able to get the title.
It was full credit to Yamaha. They did everything they said they did everything I asked them to do, and they did everything that Valentino asked them to do.
Si è creato proprio il team perfetto. Jeremy, Burgess, i nostri meccanici storici, si era proprio creato tutto quello che serviva. E Vale si sentiva amato. La Yamaha lo amava, cioè proprio come doveva essere.
The best part of this journey between Yamaha and Valentino is that in that years, I feel like we kind of demonstrate that the rider was important, because this was something that was about to be forgotten by many people. The importance of the rider was underestimated sometimes, and Valentino I think remember everything that the rider was important, because in reality he changed the history of Yamaha and with that move.
Yes, we thought he was absolutely crazy by doing that choice. But one more time, he was right.
That is the moment, is the highlight #1 of my career.